What's up, everybody? What's good? Welcome to my first official YouTube video. If you follow me on Instagram at Lebowski_, you'll been keeping up with all the bullshit and fuckery I've been posting about with my job. Now, if you don't know what's going on, I'm gonna recap for you, and then we're gonna move on from there. Anywho, so if you follow me on Instagram, back in July, like late July, it was like July 31st actually, I know the exact date and it's important. But let me get comfy. July 31st, well first, let me start. I'm still currently employed at Claire's. I am an assistant manager there. And I've been working there for about 2 years. Now within those 2 years, there has been so much bullshit and fuckery. And I'm just not one for it. I can't do it. Some people are able to tolerate the bullshit. I am not one of those people, and I never will be. I cannot. But anywho, this is the story of how I tolerated bullshit for 2 years, and finally woke the fuck up and got the fuck up out of that bitch. So let's begin. Sorry y'all, the video, my stupid ass, I'm always talking with my hands, so I was doing a whole lot of this and accidentally hit the stop record button. Anywho, let's begin. So the store that I work at, it's a very high volume store, and high volume means it's super popular. There's lots of traffic, meaning there's a lot of customers coming in there all the time. It's a very popular area. But with that popularity comes so much fucking bullshit. Like I said, so much. I don't understand why my headband keeps sliding like this. It makes my head look weird. Anywho, yeah, so because I work in such a high volume store, we are constantly getting visits from people in the corporate office. Constantly. Like, they are always in that bitch. Always. Like, what's that about? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so on one particular very hot day, on the day of July 31st, and I do remember the exact date this happened because I posted about it, of course, on my Instagram story. But just know it's relevant. It's relevant. But on July 31st, my district manager came. Now, my district manager, well, I'm going to say old district manager because I already put my 2 weeks notice in. But she was a piece of work. And take note, ladies, something about working with all women, it's just very toxic sometimes. Like, it depends on the women you're around, I suppose. But the women that I was around at Claire's, it's just, that's just how I can describe some of those women there. Not all of them were like that. Like, I made some really good friends working there, but most of them, I just wasn't feeling them. I just wasn't with the BS that they were on. But, my district manager, old district manager, y'all know what I mean. She's the kind of lady, she'll kind of, like, hype you up, get your hopes up. You know, tell you that, hey, I believe in you. You can have your own store one day. You can do this. You can do that. And she'll, like, seem like she's motivating you at first when you first meet her. And then she'll do a complete 360 out of nowhere. She's done it to me several times. She's done it to my coworkers. She's done it to my boss, you know. So it's just like, girl, I don't even know how that management style works for you, but it does not work for me. But yeah, so she, basically, long story short, she was promising me a bunch of stuff, telling me, basically kissing my ass, you know, and I didn't realize it until much later, but she was kissing my ass just so I would not quit earlier, because, I'm gonna be real, y'all, the location that I was working in, there was so much BS and people quitting nonstop. I was the only one who was, like, stagnant, so, I was basically running a high-volume store by myself for a couple of months. Those months were the worst months of my life, y'all. But that's another story for another video. Yeah, but so like I said, she was really buttering me up, kissing my ass, making me feel like, you know, I was doing a good job. Because honestly, I busted my ass. I bust my ass. With any job I have, I bust my ass. That is a known fact about me. Like, you pay me to do a job, I'm gonna do it as correct as to the best of my ability as possible. But my DM, district manager, just for y'all slow ones out there. But my DM, like I said, she made it seem like she was really, like, believing in me and whatnot. And the whole time, she just didn't give a fuck. She didn't give a fuck. She was just trying to keep me from quitting, basically, because nobody else was gonna run that bitch but me. So, anywho, on July 31st, she came in one day, and she was talking to my store manager, and I interrupted them for a second. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go on lunch soon. I was talking to my store manager. So, all of a sudden, the DM wants to just randomly speak to me and chime in. Prepare yourself for the bullshit she said to me, y'all. She looks at me and she goes, you should put some snacks in your little backpack to put something on that body. And I was just like, huh? You can't be talking to me. You can't be. Now, I have heard that my whole life, it's very evident, I'm very small, I'm very tiny, I'm 24 years old, and I look like shit, I'm like 16, just very small, I'm a very small woman. That's just how it's been my whole life, and people have made fun of me for it, accused me of having eating disorders, all that shit. I don't have any eating disorders, and I never have, and I never will. But it's just, I've been accused of it so much. People were like, do you eat all this? I've always gotten comments about my body, and it pisses me off even to this day. Don't talk about my body unless you want me to speak on yours. You know what I'm saying? You know what I feel? I feel some of y'all don't want me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Anywho. Yeah, so she said that to me, and I was just like, okay. But in that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let this go because I didn't want to ruin the visit for my store manager. So I was like, I'm gonna let it go. So I'm walking to the back a couple minutes later to go get my stuff to go on lunch, and she chimes in again, the DM. She's like, you should get a cheeseburger. And at that moment, I was like, I feel like you're trying me, but I'm not entirely sure. In that moment, I was like, maybe she's just ignorant. Because like I said, I've been told that exact comment before, eat a cheeseburger. Like, first of all, bitch, go buy me a cheeseburger with bacon. I love bacon on my cheeseburger, so if you're going to buy me a burger, you're so concerned about what kind of burger I want to eat, make sure you cook that bitch right. Anywho. Yeah, but, she told me to eat a motherfucking cheeseburger. And I was just like, okay. And then, you guys, this is the kicker. Her finale. She had to just add on to the bullshit. She like baked a cake of bullshit and had to put the frosting on that bitch. She had to whip it, you know. Oh my God. So I'm walking out the door, going to lunch, trying to ignore her ass. And she starts chanting at me. And yes, I mean chanting. You know how people are like, USA, USA, or fuck Donald Trump, something like that. She chants at me, and this is what she says. She starts chanting at me. She goes, food is good, food is good. And at that moment, I was completely fed the fuck up. I was out on the inside, very livid. But because, like I said before, I bust my ass in my job and I remain as professional as possible, I just walked out. I just left. Because I was fuming, literally fuming, at the fact that, one, you're a woman and you're over here body shaming me, and two, you're too comfortable talking to me like that. The way I'm set up, it's boss, employer. Oh wait, shit, no. Boss, employee. That's what I meant. Shit, I'm the employee, you're my boss. We don't have to be on friendly terms. I don't think it's actually smart to be friends with your boss because they can switch up on you at any minute. And plus, I don't go to work to make friends, really. I mean, it's nice I have made friends there. Like, some people I've made lifelong relationships with, and I love them for it. But I don't go to work to make friends. I go to work to make money. So that's why I'm not on a buddy-buddy basis with her. With, like, my DM, I mean. And I don't think she understood that. Because she didn't realize that she was the only one laughing. Like, nobody was laughing with her. Like, nobody was laughing with her. And I was just like, girl, you cannot be serious right now. So, yeah. That's what so when I went home that day, I posted on my Instagram story, and I'm sure most of you have seen it already and have been waiting for this video, but I posted about it on my IG story, And I got so many messages of like support, and I really want to thank all you people who messaged me talking to me about it, because I put on my Instagram story a little poll. I was like, should I curse her the fuck out right now, or just call corporate? Now, about half, it was like 50-50, but more of you voted for call corporate. But shout out to the people who told me to curse her the fuck out, because I was definitely in the moment to do so. Most definitely. But I didn't. I chose a different road. So, I called corporate. About 2 days later, I called corporate. I called the employees relation hotline, and I explained what happened. And the lady on the phone, she seemed like she was just ready to go home. Like, it was on her lunch break and I was inconveniencing her. She seemed like she did not give a fuck at all. Like, girl. Because she asked me on the phone, she was like, so why didn't you say anything to the DM when she said that to you? And I had to explain to her. I was like, well, ma'am, I try to stay as professional as possible. And hold on, y'all. My ring light's gonna turn off. Okay. I don't want to get that close to the camera and be like, you know, had to. Anywho, but I told her on the phone, I was like, ma'am, I try to be as professional as possible at work, and I did not want to ruin the store visit for my store manager because that wouldn't be fair to her. And she was like, okay, I understand. And I was like, yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Because I'm a professional. You dealing with a real one here. And so she's like, okay, well, I'll talk to her about it. And I was like, okay. So a couple days later, I get a phone call from said DM who said all these offensive things to me so very boldly, like she knew me. I get a phone call from her, and it's just, it was a corporate apology. That's what I want to call it. Corporate apologies is, you know how companies like do something fucked up and then put out a statement, like H&M and that monkey in the jungle thing, you know? It sounded like that on the phone. Because she called me, she's like, I got a call from employee relations. That's the first thing she said. So she was low-key salty. I snitched on her. Oh, well, sis. Oh, the fuck well. But she was like, I got a call from employee relations, and they said that I made some comments that offended you, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Correct. Everything is correct. That's exactly what happened. You made comments, and you offended me. So, sorry, y'all, I'm just getting heated thinking about this shit all over again. But, I was like, yeah. And she's like, now I just wanted this, let's talk about it. And I was like, well, what's there to talk about? You offended me. You kept making comments. And, y'all, the bullshit she pulled out of her ass, I don't know if it came from her ass or thin air. I don't know where it came from, but sis can lie like a motherfucker. Sis can lie. She, all of a sudden, because I told her, I was like, I really just don't understand why you were so comfortable saying that to me or speaking to me like that. Like, I don't understand why you're comfortable speaking on the way that I look. All of a sudden, she goes, well, your store manager told me you were really sick that day and you were throwing up and da-da-da-da-da. For the record, I was not sick that day and I was not throwing up that day. I was perfectly fine that day. In fact, it was a couple of days after that happened, I got food poisoning and threw up, but it wasn't on the day she insulted me. So what I took from that was, you're basically trying to lie on my store manager and throw her under the bus to have an excuse to not sound like an asshole. So I was just like, girl, when she said that, I was like, girl, if you don't get the fuck off my phone with that bullshit. And so I told her, I was like, no, I wasn't sick that day at all, so I really don't know why my store manager would tell you that I was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine, in great health. And she was like, oh, okay. And that's it. It was just, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, because you got caught in a lie. Now, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think of another one. Go. And then, y'all, she did. She pulled some more bullshit out of her ass. And or thin air. We don't know where she gets it. But, she really did. She pulled some shit out of her ass. All of a sudden, she became the victim in the situation. She tried to, like, relate to me, which she failed miserably at. She was trying to, like, relate to me. She's like, yeah, when I was, in grade school, when I was in elementary, they used to call me fat, so I know how you feel. Y'all, when she said that shit, I was over it. I was so done, like, done, finito. I was like, she cannot be serious. She's really trying to play the victim. It's, like, it was crazy. And so, I was like, because to me, like I said, I've always been made fun of for being extremely thin. No one has ever called me fat. Like, that's not the method of abuse that I was, given in life by these hating ass bitches. Nobody ever called me fat. I was made fun of for being too thin. And I was just like, even if you were made, doesn't matter what you look like, you were being made fun of for the way you look. So why would you go and do it to somebody else if you know how I feel? You see, so there's no correlation. It's just not gonna, it's just not gonna, it's not gonna flow. Because it doesn't make sense. Sorry, y'all, just randomly break dance right there. Anyway, yeah, so I was just like, this apology is going terribly. This is terrible. And so finally at that point, I was sick of talking to her. She was running up the minutes on my phone. I was trying to eat. So I was like, okay, I appreciate the phone call. No, I did not say I accept your apology because it was not a real apology. She didn't want to take accountability. Instead of being like, a real apology is like, hey, I said some fucked up shit to you. I didn't really mean it like that. Can we talk about it? Because I didn't mean to offend you. Like, that's how you apologize. You be genuine. You take accountability for what you said. You explain what you really meant. And then we can hash it out. Talk about it. That's the mature thing to do. I'm 24 years old. I'm a grown-ass woman. At this point, I'm going to stop dealing with certain bullshit. I graduated high school 6 years ago. I'm not going to keep playing this back and forth. Like, I'm not going to do it. So, to me, that's why I didn't accept her apology, because it was not a genuine apology. Now, y'all, the story gets even more fucked up. Even more fucked up. I'm sorry, my weave keeps getting, caught on my little earring. It's pissing me off. It said my lip gloss is popping, y'all. Lip gloss is cool. Yeah. So that happened, like I said, on July 31st. I remember I told y'all to remember that date. So about a week later, my store manager randomly calls me up before she leaves for the day. She waited until the end of her shift so I would keep working all happy and stuff. Before she left for the day, she has this paper sitting on the desk. And I'm looking at that thing like, the fuck is that? It was a write-up. Now, I have worked retail for 6 years. 6 straight years I have worked in retail, and not once have I ever been written up for anything. Because like I said, I'm a good employee and I bust my ass, and that's how I get hired. And these people know that. People know my work ethic. They know what it is. So when I saw that write-up, I was like, oh, bitches want to play games. Okay. Bitches wanted to play games. The write-up said, on this date, you did not recover the store to your manager's standards. This poor performance will not be tolerated, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck? Huh? Like, I was genuinely like, are you serious right now? And so I asked her, I was like, what was wrong with the store the day that I supposedly didn't clean? She's like, the headbands were falling off the rack. Bitch. Over some damn headbands? Keep in mind, you guys, that store, it's a small store, but it's a lot to handle for one person. And like I said, it's a high volume store. So kids come in there and they fuck that place up completely. So, and sometimes you're closing by yourself. Like sometimes I'm literally working by myself for like more than 5 hours a day. I'm alone in there completely. So imagine how hard it is to clean. Completely. Like the whole store by yourself. And they want you to be out by a certain time. And if you're not, you're going to get in trouble for that too. So imagine how hard it is to try to keep up with all that shit by yourself. The shit is difficult. Do you think that Claire's cares? No, Claire's don't give a fuck. At least the district I was working for don't give a damn. So, I was just over it. I was like, this is so petty. And I looked at the date on the write-up that I supposedly didn't clean the store to her standards. The date was August 7th. That's exactly 1 week after I called corporate on my DM. Exactly 1 week later. And guess who typed up the write-up? My motherfucking DM. And so, I'm not an idiot. I put 2 and 2 together. At first I did that, but I meant to do that. I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, these bitches are in cahoots. They want to play games. Because my store manager and the DM, they're close. They like to smoke cigarettes and complain about how sucky their lives are together. So they're close. They're friends. And so I'm thinking, so because I called corporate on your little BFF, you want to write me up over headbands? Okay. I was so pissed off that day. Like, at that point, I was like, they're playing with my reputation. They're literally playing with my professional reputation. Because, like I said, I've never been written up. In the 6 years I worked retail, I've never been written up. So to me, it was some petty high school bullshit. Both of these women are at least a decade older than me, acting like that. Now, why would I want to work for some bitches like that? Huh? Like, somebody tell me, would you want to work for grown ass women, damn near 40, still acting like they're 16? I can't do it. Like, I can't tolerate the BS. Some of y'all can. I'm not one of those people who can, and I will not ever tolerate that shit. I can't work around it. It's called being professional, and you grown ass women, and you can't be professional. So at that point, I was over everything. I was ready to go. Hold on, my ring light showing up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I was over it. And then, so after that, I'm just fuming at work. I'm just like, I don't even want to be here anymore. I felt like I hit rock bottom. So, after that, I got a phone call from my mom. And this phone call is kind of what set everything in motion with me finally leaving this toxic work environment that I've been in for 2 years, and putting my 2 weeks notice in. My mom, this is difficult to talk about, and I'm not gonna cry about it because I ain't no weak bitch. I might cry about it later, but I'm not gonna do it now. My mom called me, and she's like, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, oh shit, what is it now? And she told me she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Now, when she called me and told me that, that's when everything set in stone for me. I was like, wow, because you hear about cancer all the time. You don't think it's ever going to happen to someone close to you. And that's the mistake that we all make in life. Like, don't think that you're exempt from life fucking you up. You're not. Nobody is exempt. Life fucks us all over sometimes. But, yeah, so when she called me and told me that, my mom, she had such a good attitude about it. Because she just had such a good attitude about it. She said, I'm not going to treat this like it's my funeral. And by the grace of God, it's only a small amount. It did not spread all over her cervix. It didn't spread all over her body. She's going to have a simple procedure and basically have her cervix removed. And hopefully, like I said, by the grace of God, it just goes into remission and it doesn't come back. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what we're waiting on now. Yeah, but when that happened, my mom told me that, that's when everything hit me. It's like, I'm 24, miserable as a motherfucker, working my ass off for bitches who want to be petty and talk about me. And my mom's sitting here living with cancer. And so when I sat there and thought about all that, it just set in stone for me. It's like, all right, this is not going to be my life. It won't. Not for the rest of my life. I won't sit here working and being miserable for the rest of my 20s. Definitely not in my 30s. I don't want this for my life. I never even planned on, like when I was a little girl, I didn't grow up and say, I want to be an assistant manager at Claire's. That was not in the plan at all. So that's when I was like, all right, it's time to make some changes. So I, a couple days after that, I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend Miranda. She actually gave me the idea. I told her, I was like, I want to put my 2 weeks notice in. And she was like, you know what, you should get a card and do it. I was like, not a bad idea. So I went into the Hallmark store and I got one of those sorry for your loss cards. And in the front of the card it said, this is tough. And then when you open it, it says, but you're tougher. And then that's when I put my notice in. I wrote it underneath the little print on the card. I was like, my mother has cervical cancer. She needs my full attention. And also, I just don't want to work here anymore. My last day will be so and so and so. So, yeah. And so I waited until the end of my shift before I left to give it to my store manager. When she read it, to me, it was just like some weird reaction. It was like, Sorry. Because she's one of those people who just kind of have like RBF, you know, resting bitch face. I have it too. You know, so I mean, but her reaction, like, she was like, sorry. And I was like, are you really up confused? What's going on? And then she immediately was like, okay, but are you gonna work out these full 2 weeks? I was like, yeah, girl, yeah, sure. Cause I ain't no dummy. I'm finna get the rest of my last check for sure. But yeah, her reaction, it was just like, I thank you. She said, she texted me later that day and she was like, I have so much sympathy for everything you're going through. And I was like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I did appreciate that because that was very nice of her. However, yes, y'all, the story gets even more fucked up. It just gets even more fucked up. Shit, it gets so fucked up. Let me stop and get me a snack. I've had these gummies sitting here for a minute and I've been low-key eyeballing them. But, so a couple days after I put my notice in, it was Labor Day. So I was off on Labor Day and y'all, look at this Lifesaver. They're supposed to have like holes in the middle of it. This one is just like a full gummy. Sweet. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all just had to see that. But anywho, it was Labor Day, and I wake up from to a text message from my store manager, and it was a text message I don't think she meant to send to me, because it said they put me $1,200 in the hole for the week. And what that means is that for that week, we have sales goals every week, and for that particular week, we were down $1,200. Now, that may sound bad to some of you, but you gotta listen. When she was saying they, she was referring to me and my coworker because we had worked that day before, which was a Sunday. Sunday sets the day for the whole week for the sales goal. She was talking about me and my coworker. Y'all, when I saw that shit, I've always been one to like bite my tongue and not really participate in conflict because I really don't like conflict. It gives me really bad anxiety, and I don't really even know how I'll react. Like I might get volatile. I might start crying. You never know. That's the shit with anxiety. It's the worst. But yeah, like I said, I'm not one to ever like talk back or like be disrespectful to, especially to a manager. But when I saw that text message, y'all, on my day off, I was livid. I was so pissed because it's like, girl, you're talking shit about us? We literally, like I said, me and my coworker, we bust our ass in that store. On that particular day, we made a majority of the day. It was a $3,000 day. We made 2,000 something. Just 2 people with no lunch break. Nothing. Working for 8 straight hours. No lunch break. Dealing with kids tearing up my store. Dealing with people bringing food in and dropping it and shit. Dealing with some bullshit with like the chaos of retail. Only 2 people with no lunch break. Bitches was hungry in that bitch. I was hungry. And I didn't get a lunch break because I was handling the customers. So when I saw that message saying they put me, that I was just so pissed off. I texted her back. I said, I don't know who they is, but I'm assuming you're referring to my coworker and I. And I'm also assuming you didn't mean to send me this text message. So let me clarify something for you. It's completely unprofessional to talk crap about your staff to other people. Also, it's completely unprofessional of you to keep texting me when I'm off the clock. That's something else she was doing, y'all. She was like chastising me off the clock though. Like she would be like, send me pictures of the store. And I would like forget to send pictures because I get so busy in there. And like I would go home later that night. It would be like 10 o'clock. She's like, you didn't take pictures. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Or I couldn't get around to it. It got too busy. And then I would get like, she was to be like texting me, like lecturing me like she's my mom or something. She's like, well, when I say I need pictures, and going forward, I was like, girl, if you don't get, it's 10 o'clock at night, y'all. 10 o'clock at night. And you want to sit here and bitch at me? Over text? That's the reason why I don't give out my phone number either to coworkers sometimes, because I'm not dealing with that. You're not blowing up my phone with that bullshit. But that's what she was doing. And so I was telling her, I was like, also, I'm gonna need you to stop texting me off the clock because that's unprofessional as well. Her response was, what did that bitch say? She said, what did she say? She said something, I forgot. It was so stupid. She did the same thing my DM did, tried to play victim. She was like, I didn't mean to send this to you, but if you guys just left me a note explaining how or why we didn't make the goal that day, it would have been fine, blah, 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 blah. I didn't know she wanted us to leave a note, because normally we don't do that. If we're down for the week, we're just down for the week. She doesn't ask for a note. So this was the first time she's ever mentioned us leaving her a note. So that's how I knew it was bullshit, for one. And she's like, you guys could have left me a note explaining business, and I've been so sympathetic to you and your mom and what you're going through. And I'm just like, I'm done. At that point, I literally put my phone on airplane mode, and I was like, all right, I'm not even going to respond, because I'm not, like I said, I was like, I said my piece, I'm going to keep it cute. After I didn't respond to her first reply, she replied again, y'all. She kept texting me. Ugh. It was just so fucking annoying, you know? Like, just really annoying. She kept texting me, and she's like, and I just want to add, your assumptions were wrong, because I have a lot going on in my personal life, and out to my boyfriend, and blah, blah. Do you think I give a fuck about your boyfriend? Do you think I give a fuck about your personal life? I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't give a fuck about mine. And that's genuine. That's real. Don't. She was basically trying to be like, oh, I have so much stuff going on with my boyfriend in my life. Okay. But that doesn't make sense as to why you would sit there and text. So because you have all this personal stuff going on, you're taking that time to text your boyfriend or whoever to talk shit about me and my coworker? Now, if you have so much going on in your personal life, focus on that shit in your personal life. Don't be talking shit about me. Huh? So, when that happened, I was like, I'm so thankful that I am leaving this shitty ass job. Toxic workplaces are the exact same as toxic relationships. It is a toxic relationship. It most definitely is. And you have got to find your way out. Like, y'all, when I handed her that 2-week notice, I was like, I'm free. I really felt like I was having like a release date from prison. You know, because for me personally, working at Claire's was like working in a cuddly pink unicorn infested prison. And it wasn't because of the kids, because you know what, I know what I signed up for. I signed up to work around kids. Claire's is a kid's store. So the kids didn't bother me. Their parents, however. That's another story for another video, but y'all, I'm gonna get into that. Some of y'all don't need to be having kids. Yeah. But it's just like, dude, I felt like I was finally free. And I didn't have another job lined up. I don't right now. But you know what? I stepped out on faith, and I put my trust in God. And I can genuinely say, for the first time in like 2 years, I feel good. I feel happy. Because now I have this time to really like figure myself out again. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm a model. I like to model. I freelance model. It's my passion. It's really what I wanted to do. I started working at Claire's to fund my modeling career. And somehow I got trapped. Somehow I got trapped into the corporate world. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And I ended up not modeling for a long time, a long ass time. In fact, I'm just now getting back into it. But I ended up not modeling for a long time because I was always at work. Like, people would hit me up and be like, let's shoot. I can't, I'm at work. Hey, Leah, can you model this for me? I can't, I'm at work. And I'm so glad that I'll never have to say that shit. Well, I'm not going to say I'll never have to say it again because, you know, a bitch got to have a job. I ain't going to be no bum bitch in these streets. I need my money. But for a good while, I don't have to be like, oh, I can't, I'm at work. You know, I can go out and focus on what I really want to focus on, which is my modeling career. That's definitely what I want to do. So I'm just, like I said, I feel like I have a release date. I have 1 more week left on my notice, and I am out. I just want to add in, ever since I put my notice in, my manager and the DM, they've been super sweet. Like I said, going right back to kissing my ass. Because they know they're losing a valuable employee. I'm a valuable asset to the team. And holiday season's about to start, and they're gonna be busy. They're not gonna have time to train new people during the holiday season. You know how crazy it gets. It gets crazy during the holiday season for retail workers. So, yeah, they know that they done fucked up. What they did was they tried to play this mean girl role, being Regina George and Gretchen Wieners. Let me tell you something, y'all. I am not Katie Heron. I am motherfucking, what's that girl's name? Janice Ian. I'm Janice Ian in this bitch. I will get you. I will get you and I will give you what you give me. They were being disrespectful to me, so you know what? I gave that right back to them. And honestly, I don't even think I was disrespectful. I kept it as professional as possible. I could have got disrespectful though, but I didn't want to do that because I already know what they think of me. I didn't want to prove them right. They think I'm just some, I'm gonna say it, they think I'm just some low down black bitch. That's what they think of me. And so when I wild out and I act crazy and start cussing them out and screaming, that's just proving them right. So I handled it a different way. I handled it the corporate way. I might not hit you in your face, but I will hit you in your pockets. So, I mean, choose which one you want to do, you know? I advise people just not to fuck with me like that because, like I said, my karma, I don't even have to do anything. The way me and God are set up, you will get yours. If anything you do wrong by me, it will come back to you. And it might not even be by my hand, but just know, karma is very real. You have got to be careful with how you treat people. You have got to. You really do, because you're going to get that right the fuck back. So, anywho, I'm going to end my video. I'm going to finish eating my snacks. And thank you, everybody, for tuning into my first video. I'm sorry it's so unorganized. I have to figure out. I got a lot of shit to do. But, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Next video coming soon. Love y'all. Good night. I can't turn my shit off.